You won't believe what just happened at the MTV Awards this year. In a night filled with flashing lights, screaming fans, and unforgettable performances, one moment completely stole the show, and it had nothing to do with who wore what. This was about dominance. This was about history being rewritten right before our eyes. For years, Drake has been sitting comfortably on the throne of modern hip-hop. Chart-topping singles. Check. Sold-out arenas. Double check. Award after award. Stacking up like trophies in a king's castle. Absolutely. But last night, that castle, it shook. And the crown. It slipped straight into the hands of Kendrick Lamar. Yes, you heard that right. Kendrick Lamar walked away with 10 MTV Awards in a single night. A number so massive it sent shockwaves through the industry. Fans couldn't believe it. Social media exploded. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok flooded with reactions. Some were celebrating, others were in shock, and a few die-hard Drake fans. Well, let's just say they weren't exactly thrilled. But here's the thing. This isn't just about numbers. It's about what those numbers represent. Kendrick didn't just collect awards, he made a statement. Every acceptance speech, every performance. Every moment he was on that stage screamed one thing. I'm here, I'm ready. And I'm not backing down. And while Drake has had an incredible run, last night proved that the competition at the top is fiercer than ever. Kendrick didn't just win awards. He won the crowd, the critics, and maybe even a few of Drake's own fans. So, is this the start of a new era? Is Kendrick Lamar now the undisputed king of hip-hop awards? Or is Drake just taking a moment to reload before making his next big move? One thing's for sure, the hip-hop world just got a whole lot more interesting. And if last night was any indication, we're about to witness one of the most exciting rivalries in music history. Stay tuned, because this battle, it's only getting started. It was a night the music world would never forget. The air outside the MTV Awards venue buzzed with anticipation, a tangible energy you could feel in your bones. Paparazzi cameras flashed like lightning as black SUVs rolled up one after the other, spilling out the biggest names in the industry. A-list actors, chart-topping singers, viral influencers, and, most importantly, two of the most dominant forces hip-hop had ever seen, Drake and Kendrick Lamar. The rivalry wasn't just a figment of fan imagination. It had become a living, breathing narrative, one that had been building for over a decade. Fans lined up. Outside, with handmade signs, some reading Drake Forever in bold gold letters. Others proudly declaring KDOT's The Real King in spray-painted red. Social media had been in a frenzy for weeks leading up to the event, with hashtags like hashtag Drake vs Kendrick, hashtag MTV Awards Takeover, and hashtag New King trending daily. Inside, the stage was set in more ways than one. Massive LED screens flashed teasers of performances, and the award statuettes gleamed under the bright stage lights like pieces of treasure waiting to be claimed. You could almost taste the tension in the air. The unspoken question on everyone's mind: who would walk out wearing the crown tonight? Drake arrived first, stepping out in a custom-tailored cream suit, diamond chain catching the light with every camera flash. He was smiling, that confident, almost cocky smile that fans had seen on countless red carpets before. He greeted the crowd, posed for photos, shook hands with a few reporters, and moved inside like he owned the building. Minutes later, Kendrick Lamar's SUV pulled up. No flashy suit, no diamond chain, just an all-black ensemble and that intense, unreadable expression. He didn't linger for long outside. His focus seemed fixed, almost as if he knew something no one else did. Fans screamed his name, but Kendrick kept it cool, offering only a small nod before walking inside. The contrast between their arrivals felt symbolic. Drake, the established megastar, basking in the limelight, and Kendrick, the quiet storm, ready to make landfall. As the ceremony began, the first few awards went to other artists, pop stars, rock bands, indie newcomers. But everyone knew the night's real drama revolved around the hip-hop categories. Drake had been nominated in 7 categories, Kendrick in 11. Some called it a coincidence. Others saw it as fate. When the first rap award was announced, Best Hip-Hop Video, Kendrick's name was called. A wave of cheers erupted, mixed with a few gasps. Drake clapped politely, but his eyes told another story. Award after award, Kendrick's name kept echoing through the venue. Best Collaboration, Best Lyrics, Artist of the Year, Song of the Year. By the halfway mark, Kendrick had already matched Drake's total nominations with wins. The camera cut to Drake often, catching subtle shifts in his demeanor from relaxed smiles to slightly tighter jawlines. Kendrick, on the other hand, delivered short but impactful speeches, each one laced with gratitude and subtle nods too. His journey by the end of the night. The numbers told a story that needed no exaggeration. Kendrick Lamar, 10 MTV Awards, including the night's biggest honor, Video of the Year. Drake, 2. It was a clean, decisive sweep. Fans in the arena were on their feet, some chanting Kendrick's name, others filming every second for social media. Outside, the internet was already exploding with headlines. Kendrick Lamar dethrones Drake, a new king of hip-hop. And the night the crown changed hands, it wasn't just about trophies, it was about legacy. The look on Kendrick's face as he held his final award said it all. This wasn't luck, it wasn't a fluke. This was the result of years of artistry, consistency, and vision. When the cameras stopped rolling and the audience began to clear, the energy lingered in the air. Conversations in the lobby, in the press room, even out on the sidewalk were all the same. Did you see that? Kendrick destroyed tonight. Drake left quietly. No post-show interviews, no after-party appearances. Kendrick, meanwhile, didn't stick around to gloat. He exited almost as quietly as he'd arrived, slipping into the night with his team, 10 golden trophies in tow. But in that silence, there was power. The kind of power that doesn't need to shout because the whole world is already listening. The MTV Awards of 2025 weren't just another celebrity-filled evening. They were a turning point. A moment when the industry, the fans, and even the competitors themselves had to acknowledge that the hip-hop hierarchy had shifted. For Drake, it might have been just one night, a stumble in an otherwise legendary career. But for Kendrick Lamar, it was a coronation. And the world had just witnessed the crowning of a new king, long before the flashing lights of the 2025 MTV Awards. The story of Drake and Kendrick Lamar was already etched into hip-hop history. It began in the early 2010s, when Drake was rising as the smooth, charismatic hitmaker who could blend rap and R&B like no one else. With songs dominating radio and streaming platforms, he quickly became a household name, the kind of artist who didn't just make music, but shaped culture. Kendrick, on the other hand, came up from the underground with a completely different approach. His debut projects weren't just collections of songs. They were narratives dissecting everything from inner-city struggles to deep philosophical questions, where Drake's music often felt like a personal diary mixed with club anthems. Kendrick sounded like a cinematic epic, each verse layered with meaning. Their first real public intersection came in 2011, when Kendrick appeared on Drake's Club Paradise tour as an opening act. Back then, the dynamic was clear. Drake was the star, and Kendrick was the promising newcomer. But things began to shift just 2 years later. In 2013, Kendrick dropped his now infamous verse on Big Sean's Control, where he directly called out nearly every major rapper of the time, including Drake, and declared himself ready to murder the competition lyrically. It wasn't a diss in the traditional sense, but the competitive energy was unmistakable. Hip-hop thrives on that kind of fire, and Kendrick had just thrown down the gauntlet. From there, the tension simmered. Interviews from both camps often danced around direct confrontation, but subtle jabs made their way into lyrics and performances. Drake would rap about fake conscious rappers and artists acting holier than thou, while Kendrick would talk about rappers who rely on charts instead of substance. Fans dissected every line, every award speech, every interaction between the two, turning their relationship into an ongoing chess match played in front of millions. Award shows over the years added fuel to the fire. At the 2016 Grammys, Drake took home Best Rap Song, while many believed Kendrick's work that year was more deserving. In 2018, Kendrick swept multiple categories at the MTV Awards, but Drake managed to win Artist of the Year, keeping the score between them unpredictable. Each time one of them released an album, comparisons would flood the internet. Who had better sales, better lyrics, better influence? It wasn't just about music anymore. It was about dominance. The public narrative became almost mythic. Drake was the chart king, the face of mainstream success, the artist who could turn anything into a hit. Kendrick was the poet laureate of hip-hop, the critic's darling, the man whose verses would be studied in classrooms one day. Two sides of the same coin, representing different definitions of greatness. And every time they faced off at award shows, it felt less like a ceremony and more like a prize fight to heavyweights trading blows, each win or loss adding another chapter to their saga. By the time 2025 rolled around, this rivalry wasn't just a side note in their careers, it was a defining element. The nominations list for the MTV Awards read like a battleground. Drake in 7 categories, Kendrick in 11. Music journalists immediately began framing it as the showdown. Even casual fans were picking sides, posting predictions online, placing unofficial bets, and speculating about possible on-stage tension. It wasn't just about trophies, it was about narrative. If Drake won big, it would reinforce his image as the unstoppable hitmaker. If Kendrick dominated, it would be seen as the final step in his long climb to the top. In the weeks leading up to the ceremony, both artists stayed relatively quiet. No public trash talk, no diss tracks, just silence, the kind that builds suspense. Behind the scenes, though, their teams were fully aware of what was at stake. Every outfit, every performance choice, every speech was being planned with precision. And when they both stepped into that arena on award night, it wasn't just another event. It was the next round in a decade-long battle, and the whole world was watching to see who would land the knockout punch. The 2025 MTV Awards stage was nothing short of breathtaking. A massive circular platform jutted out into the audience, surrounded by a sea of flashing lights and roaring fans. Overhead, colossal LED screens cycled between graphics for each category, live audience shots, and dramatic cinematic montages of the year's biggest hits. The host, a high-energy comedian with a knack for hype, worked the crowd between performances, keeping the energy electric. But underneath the laughter and music, there was an undeniable tension in the air. Every hip-hop category felt like a direct battlefield between two names, Drake and Kendrick Lamar. The night kicked off with a powerhouse performance by an unexpected guest. A surprise collaboration between multiple chart toppers, warming up the crowd for the heavy hitters to come. After a few pop and rock awards were given out, the first major hip-hop category of the evening appeared on screen: Best Hip-Hop Video. The nominees were read. A drumroll built, and when the winner was announced, Kendrick Lamar, the arena erupted. Kendrick walked to the stage with his signature calm composure, accepting the golden astronaut statue and delivering a short, heartfelt speech about creativity and staying true to your vision. Drake clapped in the front row, expression unreadable. But the camera caught him leaning back in his seat, nodding slowly. The second face-off came just minutes later with Best Collaboration. Drake had a strong contender, a summer anthem that dominated radio. But Kendrick's politically charged track with another acclaimed artist was the favorite among critics. The envelope opened, and again, the name read, Kendrick Lamar, 242. This time, the crowd's reaction felt louder, sharper. Twitter was already lighting up, with fans posting its happening memes and tracking the score like a sports game. Drake still smiled for the cameras, but the slight tightening of his lips didn't go unnoticed by eagle-eyed viewers. By the time the best lyrics rolled around, tension was peaking. Drake had submitted one of his more introspective tracks, the kind that reminded fans he could go deep when he wanted to. But Kendrick's entry was a masterclass in storytelling, a lyrical journey critics had hailed as one of the year's defining works. The winner? Kendrick. 3 wins. The camera cut to the audience, one side cheering wildly, the other in stunned disbelief. Midway through the night came Artist of the Year, arguably the biggest category outside of Video of the Year itself. This was Drake's territory, a category he'd won multiple times in the past. The crowd hushed as the presenter opened the envelope, and the MTV Artist of the Year is Kendrick Lamar. The audience exploded. Kendrick stood, hugged his team, and walked up to deliver his longest speech yet. A passionate message about the responsibility artists have to push the culture forward. The applause felt endless. The streak continued. Song of the Year went to Kendrick, despite Drake's single being a massive streaming juggernaut. Best Concept Video, Kendrick again. Best Performance, you guessed it, Kendrick. Each win widened. The Gap and social media was now dubbing the event a Kendrick sweep. Fans in the audience started chanting Kendrick. Kendrick. Between categories, a sound that reverberated through the venue like a victory march. Drake finally snagged a win in Best R&B Hip-Hop Fusion Track, breaking the streak. The crowd cheered, but even some of his own fans looked like they knew the bigger battle was slipping away. He thanked his collaborators, kept his speech brief, and returned to his seat without the confident swagger he'd had earlier in the night. Then came the climactic moment. Video of the Year. Both Drake and Kendrick were nominated alongside some of the biggest pop and rock acts of the year. The tension was palpable. Everyone in the building knew what this award could mean. If Drake won, it could soften the blow of Kendrick's dominance. If Kendrick won, it would be the final nail in the coffin. The presenter tore open the envelope, paused for dramatic effect, and finally announced Kendrick Lamar. The arena went berserk. Fans leaped to their feet. Confetti cannons blasted gold and silver streamers. And Kendrick walked to the stage, holding back a smile. In his final speech of the night, he thanked his fans, his family, and the culture of hip-hop itself, leaving the crowd with a simple line: "This is bigger than me. This is for the art." When the lights dimmed and the credits rolled, Kendrick's final tally stood at 10 MTV Awards. Drake had 2. The score wasn't just lopsided, it was historic. Backstage, reporters swarmed to get comments. Drake's team moved quickly, avoiding most press, while Kendrick answered a few questions with humility before heading out. Outside the venue, fans debated what the night meant for the future of hip-hop. Some called it a passing of the torch. Others insisted Drake would be back stronger than ever. But one thing was undeniable. The 2025 MTV Awards had just cemented Kendrick Lamar's place at the very top, and the whole world had witnessed it happen live. The moment the final award was announced, and Kendrick Lamar's name echoed through the auditorium for the 10th time that night, the ripple effect began instantly. Before he could even step off the stage, Twitter's trending tab was already locked on a list of hashtags. Hashtag Kendrick Sweep, hashtag Drake vs Kendrick, hash MTV Awards 22.5, and hashtag Crown Taken. Clips of Kendrick's acceptance speeches were being posted, dissected, and shared at lightning speed. Fans slowed them down, added captions, and turned his words into instant sound bites. One of the most viral clips was Kendrick saying, "This is for the art," which had already been remixed into songs, TikTok trends, and motivational edits before the night was even over. On the other side, Drake's reactions throughout the night became meme material. The internet froze frames of him clapping politely, leaning back with that half smile, or looking down at his phone during one of Kendrick's wins. Within hours, captions like "When you realize the Wi-Fi is faster," "Then your award count," and Drake playing it cool while Kendrick takes his lunch were everywhere. Fans on both sides started turning the night into a digital battleground. Kendrick's supporters were posting "The King has arrived" edits with cinematic background music, while Drake's loyalists fired back with montages of his career highlights, reminding everyone of his unmatched chart run. Instagram stories were a flood of celebrities reacting in real time. Some artists publicly congratulated Kendrick. J. Cole posted a simple respect with a crown emoji, while Essa shared a video of herself screaming in the audience during Kendrick's 10th win. Other industry figures remained quiet, their silence adding more mystery to the narrative. YouTube commentators wasted no time uploading reaction videos with titles like "Did Kendrick just end the Drake era?" and "MTV Awards 2025. The night hip-hop changed." These videos racked up millions of views overnight, with creators breaking down every facial expression, every speech, and every performance from the two stars. TikTok was perhaps the wildest battlefield. Short clips comparing Drake's to wins too. Kendrick's 10 became part of a viral trend where users acted out exaggerated before and after scenarios, one labeled "Drake at the start of the night, showing over-the-top dancing," followed by "Drake at the end of the night with someone sitting in silence, fake crying." Kendrick's fans made highlight reels of his past performances, weaving them together to show his road to the crown. There were even parody videos imagining Drake in the studio plotting a comeback diss track. News outlets across the globe caught on quickly. By morning, headlines were everywhere. Kendrick Lamar crowned king at MTV Awards billboard. Drake outshined in stunning sweep Rolling Stone. From underdog to unstoppable, Kendrick Lamar's historic night, BBC Music. International coverage in places like the UK, Canada, and Australia framed it as a changing of the guard moment in global hip-hop. Even non-music publications, from political blogs to lifestyle magazines, found ways to tie the night's events into their own narratives about competition, artistry, and cultural shifts. Podcasts that usually took days to release episodes rushed out emergency specials. Hip-hop analysts debated whether the sweep was more about Kendrick's current dominance or Drake's possible decline. Was this a natural passing of the torch, or just one bad night for Drake? Opinions varied. But no one could deny the symbolic weight of 10 awards too big beyond the memes and hot takes. TH was also a deep sense of pride among Kendrick's core fanbase. Many pointed out how his journey from Compton to this moment represented something far bigger than personal achievement. It was proof that a lyricist, a storyteller, could dominate in a music industry that often favors catchy hooks and chart-friendly formulas. His speeches were replayed in community centers, shared by teachers, and quoted in think pieces about the power of authentic artistry. Drake's fans, meanwhile, doubled down on defending his legacy. They posted threads highlighting his decade-long reign, his record-breaking streaming numbers, and his ability to pivot styles across eras. One night doesn't erase 10 years, one viral tweet read, accompanied by a montage of Drake's most iconic career moments. Still, even in those defenses, there was an underlying acknowledgement that the MTV Awards of 2025 would be remembered as a turning point by the end of the next day. The online war had settled into a steady hum, but the narrative was already etched into hip-hop history. Kendrick Lamar didn't just win 10 MTV Awards. He did it in a way that dominated headlines, fueled memes, and shifted the cultural conversation. It wasn't just a victory, it was a statement. And in the digital age, that statement spread faster and louder than ever before. As the dust settled on the 2025 MTV Awards, one thing was undeniable. Hip-hop had just witnessed a seismic shift. The night wasn't simply about trophies, glitz, or even the performances. It was about a moment in time when two titans stood on the same stage and one walked away wearing the crown. Kendrick Lamar's 10 wins weren't just numbers. They were chapters in a long story of persistence, vision, and artistry. Drake's 2 wins, though fewer, still spoke to his enduring presence and influence, reminding the world that this rivalry was far from over. Industry insiders knew that what happened on that stage would ripple for years to come. Record labels would recalibrate, artists would rethink their approaches, and fans would continue debating who truly held the throne. But beyond the noise, there was an undeniable truth. Greatness in music isn't static. It shifts, it evolves, and it challenges the very people who once defined it. For Kendrick, this was a coronation. For Drake, perhaps a wake-up call. For fans, it was a gift, the kind of drama, artistry, and competition that makes music culture so endlessly exciting. Whether you saw it as the rise of a new king or just one chapter in an ongoing saga, you couldn't deny that you had witnessed history. And as the lights dimmed, the chants faded, and the trophies found their way to new shelves. One question lingered in the air: what happens next? Because if there's one thing hip-hop has taught us, it's that crowns can be claimed, but they can also be reclaimed. And somewhere, in studios and writing rooms, both Kendrick Lamar and Drake are already crafting their next moves and the next chapter in this epic rivalry. Thanks for watching my Mighty X channel.